All right, just a little shout out to my fellow Last of Us 2 fanatics. Now, I did a video on I think I'm going to put this on my personal channel, but I did a video on my main channel talking about this friggin' awesome Ellie statue from The Last of Us. Now, there's not a lot of Last of Us merchandise out there. It seems like they're really starting to put out more, but this sold out almost instantly. It's a 12-inch resin statue, $180, and it comes out between May and August. Anyway, so this sold out quick. A lot of fans really wanted it, and then another statue came out with Ellie with a machete. It was cheaper, and that is up right now for pre-order for a whole month. You can check out my video on that. Just search Last of Us Ellie statue or something like that, and it'll come right up. But anyway, so if you wanted this statue, or at least as close to this as you can, I just got a notification from Big Bad Toy Store. This is The Last of Us Ellie with bow, and it is an 8-inch statue for only $50 instead of the 12-inch for $180. Now, this is almost identical. I tried to match two images because I was looking at these rather closely to see what the differences are, and it looks like there's only two I can figure out. Now, the bases themselves, unless I'm missing something, they are exact. So whether you got this limited 500-piece statue or you want to get something smaller but still this same friggin' thing, it looks like if you get this $50 one, you got it, man. And it's up for pre-order, and this one doesn't look limited. And I think this is fantastic for fans who, first off, didn't have the money or didn't have the money at the time to get the bigger one. But not only that, fans who don't buy the $200, $300, $400 statues. Here's a perfect one. It's 8 inches, $50. Put down a pre-order, and you don't have to pay until it ships. And the base is identical. Her pants, her legs are identical. Even the folds in them, the folds in her shirt and her book bag. Yeah, I know it's a bit crazy, but I matched them up, and they are identical. The bow and the arrow, the tattoo, the hand position, except for the amount of blood. Now again, all the wrinkles, so it looks like they took the sculpt and they reused it to create this second statue. However, and it's a little tricky to tell, but it does look like the head positioning could possibly be different. What I mean by that is, from all the images, it looks like her head in the $50 statue is looking down slightly more, and the one if in the $180 range, the 12-inch statue is looking up a little more. And I know it's a small thing, but I went through all the images, and it really does look like that. Like she's just looking a little bit down. And again, this is something where they can utilize the sculpt from the entire thing, but just kind of tweak her head just slightly. And again, they keep the sculpt of the head. They would probably just need to rework the neck, I would imagine. Yeah, rework the neck and the angle of that. And they literally keep everything else. So a little simple touch-up, and that's it. Now, just to give you an example of the blood, here's the sold-out $180 statue. Let me pick this image. You can see there's a good amount of blood on Ellie on this one. Now, if you look here, there's just not that much blood. Here's a better image. Perfect. There we go. We see a good amount of her body, her arms, her bracelet here. And there's not a lot. We have some blood and some dirt on her hands. Now, given by the time this comes out, there could be more. It could be there could be less blood here, more blood, and they'll be almost really similar. But if you look at this, it really looks like they just scaled it down. It wouldn't make any sense. Now, keep in mind, it's the same people. It's Gentle Giant. It's coming from Gentle Giant with Naughty Dog doing the sculpt, Gentle Giant doing the paint, something like that. But it's the same people doing both. It doesn't make any sense that they would make two statues that are almost identical, but they did them completely different. It doesn't make any sense at all. What makes sense is that they would use the same sculpt, so they're reusing the tooling, but they shrink it down, however that works, because I know NECA is known for that. They make things bigger, and then they shrink them down. Now, I think this would be a perfect not a replacement, but a perfect alternative if you could not get this one. This is the one that's sold out. And again, it's the same thing with the machete in the back, the arrows in the book bag. The base is the one that is identical. Even the clothing, I am almost positive it is. If we look at the images here, it is just the head. It looks like the head on this $50 one is looking down just a little bit less. Actually, this is a good angle. Real quick, before we look through the images of the $50 one, let's look at an angle that is similar to that. Well, they don't really have one. What's this one? All right, so here's kind of something a little. Nah, see, because of the way it's angled. All right, let's pick that one. Is there anything? All right, here. Okay. The angle is a bit off, but if you see what I mean by her looking dead ahead in the 12-inch version, and then the 8-inch version is her looking maybe at the ground, tracking, or about to look up, or just grimacing. You get what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that's the only difference. How would they tweak that? I imagine it would be just a tweak of the neck. Again, if you tweak this here, that wouldn't take a lot of work, and then you can keep the entire sculpt. Let's just look at this $50 version and pull up the images. Here's a dead-on shot. You can see the arrows and the machete handle. This is all right. Here's another full version, and again, everything is the same. It is going to have different blood splatter, likely, and then just a different angle of her head. And here's that bloody machete in the backpack. Again, I matched up the boards, the rocks. It is all identical, just like that $180 statue. But I'm not going to sit here too long. I'm going to let you decide whether you want to check it out or not. Again, it's the only place I found it right now up for pre-order where you don't have to put any money down is Big Bad Toy Store. And it is the only Last of Us that Big Bad Toy Store has. I will say one thing. Yes, I'm not blown away by the face sculpt. The head sculpt and face sculpt on both of them. Both this and the $180 version. I saw an up-close image from someone who was actually at a convention where they showed off this version itself. And I'm not blown away by the head sculpt at all. The thing, though, is The Last of Us has so little official merchandise. It's really hard to be real picky with it. However, we're getting rumors that they are coming out with Funko Pops for the first time for The Last of Us. There's an Ellie version coming out first, which might be the part 2 version. We see these statues coming out. There's the big one that was limited. This one now, that's $50. The other one, that's another mini statue, that's $100 with Ellie and the machete. Let's go to the details here. It's 8 inches, made of plastic. It's from the Last of Us Part 2 video game. Again, prototyped and painted by Gentle Giant Studios, sculpted by artists at Naughty Dog. And again, that's the same team working on the bigger one. So I'm sold on this being identical. So if you wanted to have Ellie from the Collector's Edition, which if I could have my way, sure. Ellie from the Collector's Edition, and that's her sitting on something, I forget, playing a guitar. And then you have Ellie here with a bow, $50 8-inch Ellie with a bow. And then there would be the Ellie with the machete. And I do have an image of that somewhere here. Let me just pull this up. If you forget what that looked like. Yeah, here's Ellie with the machete. I wonder if I got a couple more. And I forget what this is, but I would imagine it's somewhere similar, somewhere around that range. And you can tell it is the same looking face, actually, now that I think about it. They might have used the same friggin' sculpt for Ellie on both of these because that face looks real similar. Anyhow, so yeah, you'd get 3. You'd get the Collector's Edition, the one with the bow, and then you would have the one with the machete. Real similar in size. The Collector's Edition, I believe, is the biggest one out of those, unless you got the limited version from this one that already sold out. And then there would be, I think I'm missing one. But yeah, so that would be 4 that we know of. All we need now is a Joel. You know, that's all we need now is a Joel and maybe a clicker. Now, I got a banging clicker. I think it's from Gaming Heads. If you ever want to look it up, I did a review. Just search clicker statue from my Make a Path Presents channel. Massive clicker, full body. I think it's a 1/4 scale, running and jumping off of some rubble, and it is absolutely stunning. So that's one of those higher end ones. It was about like $400 at the time. But anyhow, we need a Joel. That's all I'm going to say. Because the only Joel statue I know of is the one that came with the first collector's edition. And then there's the 1/6 scale route. And then they're coming out with, and that's unofficial. And then they're coming out with the 1/12 scale, that's 6-inch Ellie and Joel from the first game. But we need more from the first game and the second game. We need NECA to get on the ball and come out with or announce that they're going to pick up the license, because shit, man, you could get Ellie and Joel from the first game, multiple different variations of them. From the second game, same thing most likely, all the different seasons, battle damaged, you name it. You could get clickers, bloaters, runners, stalkers, even different types of clickers, maybe 2 different types of clickers. You can get Bill, Tess. Man, listen, I know they probably won't, because they won't be able to reuse the molds on a lot of those, I wouldn't imagine, but hey, fans can hope. Alright, put your thoughts and opinions below. I'm done talking. It's your turn.